Oh. Uncle Jessie needs a shine now? I'm on it. Hey guys, outofworkbum here. And this is the video everybody's been waiting for. Everybody says, well, this isn't how you make brandy. You need to distill brandy. You need to, this isn't real moonshine. You need to distill it. Well, all those other videos I've made, I've assumed you guys knew that you need to distill it. I got into it a little bit in my last few videos, but I never really wanted to actually film the process of the still running. So today what I did was, I have a little still. It's an indoor still here. I guess it's maybe a 3-gallon, I'm not sure exactly. I bought this off Amazon a few years ago to run over the summer because it doesn't use quite as much water. I don't need to build a fire outside. My big copper still outside, that's the that one takes a lot of work for this little bit of product. But this is the strawberry brandy that I made about a month ago. It's been sitting, it stopped fermenting about 2.5-3 weeks ago. Well, about 2.5 weeks ago, but it's been sitting in my basement cool and everything's good with it. I ended up catching pneumonia for somehow I got pneumonia over the summer. I don't know how I do that. So I wasn't able to really talk through a video and stuff without coughing. So I'm gonna give this a shot. Hopefully it's still good. It smells good, it tastes good, everything seems to be okay with it. And we're gonna go from there. So this is a little still I bought off Amazon. I think it was like 250 bucks. It comes with a thumb keg that we're not going to use today. It's got the gauges and all that stuff. For what it is, it works okay for these little batches. It's not horrible. So what we need to do first is we need to collect the mash and get it into the pot. And we're going to do that by siphoning it with the siphon hose. And you can see the bottom here. This is all the yeast and all the strawberry and everything that has been used up and fermented, and then it dies down to the bottom. So we're going to try to get only the middle portion of this. There's some seeds and stuff floating at the top. It's okay if you get a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but you don't want all these sediments and solids in the bottom of your still, because it will end up burning, and then you'll have a charred taste. It won't be any good. So we're going to siphon from the middle and try to get as much as we can in here. If you really wanted to go nuts with it, you can run it through filters and coffee filters or a t-shirt or cheesecloth or whatever you want to do. For this little batch, I'm not going to bother. This is basically the the process. I'm doing a lot of videos about the moonshine, and they get a lot of attention. You guys seem to like them, and I'm still learning. So if you guys see anything I'm doing wrong or anything that may increase, the ease of operation or the volume or the product, make the product better for me, let me know. I'm still learning. I'm by far not an expert. This is just all self-taught stuff. This is old school recipes from family that I made little here and there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it the way I know, and we'll get the little bit out that I can get. Usually on a batch like this I can get about 1.5 quarts, 2 quarts of good uncut brandy out of this. I've tried it with the thumb keg and without it. Without the thumb keg, I get a little more strawberry flavor, a little more of the fruit flavor. The thumb keg kind of whitens it down. It kind of not waters it down, but it takes it cleans it out too much, so you lose some of that flavor. Some of this you'll end up putting with fruit again, anyways. It depends on how you're gonna drink it. So make sure that moonshining and distilling is legal in your state or country, wherever you are. I have flown this mash to an undisclosed location where it is legal. So everything's good here. We'll be ready to go. Everything's perfectly legal because I've flown it to that undisclosed location, and we're good to go. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to siphon this through into the pot. If I can get this out without breaking it. There we go. So you want to do this without disturbing it, without stirring it up as much as you can here. This may be too long. Let's try it without the extra pot first. So you want to gently gently put it in. That is that. So we're going to do that and let that run down. And we'll get as much of this out as we can. And it smells good. So at this point, this is strawberry wine. If you were going to make a wine, you can go back to that video of me making this mash, and it'll be a strawberry wine. I don't know how to use all the hydrometers and all that good stuff to tell the volumes of the volume of alcohol in it and all that stuff. Like I said, I've never gotten into the science of it. I would guess that this says somewhere between 10 and 12% alcohol in it, similar to a wine, but I'm not positive. You know, I do have a hydrometer. I ordered one. Actually, I have it right here. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I'm not a scientist. So, but I would like to get into the sciences of it, and it may eventually make me be able to make a better product. But so far, I'm doing pretty good. I like the stuff I have. So if you want to come down here, cameraman, and check out what's going on. So we're just transferring this from one tank to the other. And we're going to get as much as we can in without getting these sediments in. So if we lose that much, it's not the end of the world. So if this was 10% alcohol, you got to remember that, you know, if I only lose an inch of that, I'm actually only losing 10% of that. So it's not like I'm losing full alcohol, full volume on that. I'll tell you, I was a little nervous about keeping this. I usually run my mashes through the still much sooner than this, right after they stop fermenting. But again, like I said, I really wanted to do this video. I did make a video of me running my peach moonshine, the peach brandy, through the still, but there was a problem with the audio on my phone, and it came out horrible. So I did make this batch to make it specifically for a video to run through. So I'll save you the boredom of watching this transfer over, and I will cut back when it's on the stove, and we'll assemble the still. Alright guys, we're back. I've transferred all the liquid from this container to this container. You can see that I stopped right where it started getting cloudy. I don't want to keep any of that cloudy stuff in there, which will end up sinking to the bottom and burn leaving a bad taste. So this particular still comes with some silicone hoses and silicone gaskets. The first couple of times I used it, I was a little leery because they had a real chemical smell to them, which has gone away after I've used them a couple of times. And the first time I ran it, I just ran some distilled water just to see how everything worked and everything, and it didn't give any taste or anything. So I think now that it's been used a couple of times, I think it's a little bit better. So what you do is you put the gasket on there, and you put your cover on, and these metal hoses come with a little gasket and a little O-ring type of thing, and you're gonna put that into here. So you don't drop it. And you basically are going to assemble this to this. This is your worm assembly, and I use a garden hose because I don't have the right fittings for my sink to do this the right way. So what I do is I have the fresh water coming in down the bottom, and when it gets to the top, it will trickle down, and I use it into these 5-gallon buckets, which I will bring out to the chicken coop and use the water again. With my well situation, you guys know every drop of water I have is important with a lousy well. So I'm going to assemble this all together, and we'll start the process. I'm going to do this hand tight, but I will go ahead and tighten it up with a pair of pliers after I cut this again. So these hoses are pretty flexible. You want to keep it as high as you can. You want to get some arc on it if possible. So that's about it. So you keep that good arc on there, and the steam is going to turn up into the alcohol steam and vapor is going to come up into here. It's going to come down here and then get cooled off in the worm, and we will put a cup under the back of the worm, and we will have the final product at that point. So I'm going to just tighten these up, and we'll button everything down, and I will come back and show you the next step. All right, so I've got everything buttoned down. I tightened up my connections right here and here. You don't want any steam to escape. And I've got my gauge, which I trust only to a certain point. So I'm gonna want to get this, I'm gonna start watching this closer as it gets close to 175 degrees. Now you can see as it starts to get hot, it starts jumping around in the can. That's all goodness. That's all the goodness trying to separate from the strawberry mash and get the water out of there and everything. So basically, if this goes well, it will be left with water in the kettle and a couple of quarts of good strawberry brandy here. So what I do is I leave this hose on trickle and just keep touching the water. This water will end up getting hot, so you want to keep this on trickle so that you're getting a fresh cold water come through to keep the worm cold. I don't have it ready yet because we're not at there's no need to run it yet. We're not at the point where there's any steam building up yet. So again, so that's gonna get to the top of there, and it's gonna end up draining down in here, and that way I don't have to waste any of the water. So I've got a cup set up over here, and that's going to catch the first couple of drops. Unfortunately, the way the pot is set up, it's a bad camera angle, but we'll make it work. That's all we can do. So again, this is getting ready to go. All the goodness is starting to separate. You can see it starting to shake. It's kind of like when Popeye eats his can of spinach, getting ready to burst. So we'll watch that, and I will give you an update as it gets a little closer, and hopefully we can see the first few drops of spirits come running through. And we'll taste it, and we'll get rid of the proper amount of heads. All right, we have our temperature getting up just under 200 according to this. So we're going to back that down just a bit. Just back the temperature down a little bit, keep it maintained. And as you can see, as I have my worm cam set up, you can see we have some activity coming out of the worm, and that is going to be all the bad stuff. That's the ethanol and all the stuff we need to throw away in the beginning. So everything looks like it's coming along nice. I put a little spoon here to keep my hose from melting up against that because it gets pretty hot. We're going to make sure the water stays relatively cool, and you can do that by increasing or decreasing the amount of flow you have through there. So again, that's the waste comes down through here into the hole, into the holding tank that I'll switch out. So as of right now, it looks like I'm losing a little bit. I'm going to just kind of change that around a little bit, but spurts out. So that's it. That's the first part of it. I'm going to make a couple of little adjustments, and I'll come back to you once it's running steady. Alright, I've made the switch. So what I have coming out now is the drinkable portion. This is what you call the heads. This is garbage. This is the stuff that they they tell you will make you go blind, and it's got all the impurities and the bad stuff, the ethanols and the methanols or whatever they have in it. Like I said, I don't know the sciences in it. All I know is that you're supposed to throw away a little bit in the beginning, and I always throw away about twice as much as they recommend, because I only do this as a hobby. I don't need to make anybody sick. So I do it based on volume and based on the taste. So as it comes out, you can put your finger in it and taste it, and you'll taste it. It tastes like lacquer thinner or whatever, the turpentine, when it first comes out, and it gets smoother and smoother as it goes. So we've got a good running. It's running good and steady now, and keeping an eye on the temperature. I don't want this going over 200. I have it right at about 200 now, so I'm going to keep it down just a little bit. Again, like I said, I don't have a lot of faith in that thermostat, but or thermometer, but you know, it's good enough for now. So I have my bottle of heads. This makes for a great fire starter, or whatever else you want to do. Campfire starter and stuff. I don't know. I guess people use it for cleaning solutions and different things. Just make sure I always mark the bottle poison all over it, and you know, whatever, just in case anybody ever came over and thought they were breaking into my bottle of Jameson here. But that's that. So that's from about 3. It might be 4, but I think it's three different batches. So this little 3-gallon batch, you're not getting a lot out of it, as far as heads. So this is the tails from my last run. I think that was a blueberry one that I had done, and I'll use my tails. Sometimes I'll combine these 2 tails, and sometimes I'll put that for my in that dump keg. But as you can see, everything's running good, and now it's just a sit back and wait. Occasionally taste it and make sure everything's good, and this is definitely good. The strawberry one has a great flavor. If you're into beer and you've never been to Trogues Brewery down in Hershey, Pennsylvania, you should definitely try it. They have some great beers. So there we go with that, and you see it just comes out in little spurts. Depending on the temperature you have it going at. If I got the water colder in the worm, it would come out steadier. If I increased the temperature, it would come in steadier. That's a little faster than I normally like it. I'm going to turn it down just a bit, but you know, I like the slow and steady approach. These small batches, this will take another hour or 2 to get everything through. But yeah, now it's just kind of a sit back and wait, and all the fun of sampling the different batches as it comes out. For this, I'm going to end up just mixing it all together as one. So this first batch is going to be decent. If I filled this cup halfway and then started another cup, that second cup is usually a little bit better, and then it starts getting worse from there. So there is better portions of the run as you go through, and the more experience you get, the better at that you'll be. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll run this first half a glass, whatever it is, 8 ounces or so, and then I'll fill up a little half pint jar with the next batch, which is usually the best portion of the hots. It's the best tasting. It's the smoothest. It's the strongest. And I'll kind of keep that separate, and then I'll mix the rest of it all together. So I kind of take this one little portion here as like a cream of the crop. So yeah, I'll set the worm cam up and let that run, and the rest of the video is just about this here. So everybody finally gets to see that it's actually brandy that I'm making. That does have a strawberry flavor to it. I know a lot of people make a strawberry brandy by putting, I don't know, I think I've seen videos where people put just like a strawberry, they soak vodka or grain alcohol in strawberries and leave it for a week, and then they call that strawberry brandy or blueberry brandy or blackberry brandy or whatever they do it. This is the real way to do it. This is the best way to do it. You can still add blueberries or in this case is strawberry or peach or whatever to it, and let it soak, and then you'll have a sweeter, definitely sweeter type of brandy with a lot more fruit flavor in it. This fruit flavor that's run through the still is very subtle, and if you were to you put the peach next to the blueberry, next to the apple, and next to the strawberry, it's really hard to like pick out which one is peach and which one is strawberry. Although, if you know what it is, you can definitely taste it. So I'll put the worm cam up, and we can watch this run for a little while. I'll keep an eye on the temperatures and keep everything running smooth. And I'll be back in a bit. All right, so that's it. That's how you make real brandy or real moonshine. The process is the same. You just start with your mash and you distill it down. So I'm running tails now, just to it's slowing down, and I'm just gonna run the tails. I'll use that for my thump keg in the future. So this is the order in which it came out. I ended up with 6 of these little 8-ounce jars. So this is, aside from the heads that I put in here, which I got, probably, I don't know that much of. I probably got about 8 ounces of heads that I threw away, which is the poison. I throw away more than what's necessary, but, do what you need to do. So this is the first one that came out, and then these 2 are the best tasting. So as it comes out, I taste it through. These 2 are the best tasting. So what I normally do is I'll save one of those better tasting ones, and then the rest of what I have left I'll blend together to make one consistent tasting product. I usually leave them in these little jars because there's no raging alcoholics here. Nobody's drinking 8 ounces of moonshine at a sitting. So, one of these little jars will last somebody. Hopefully it'll last somebody enough time that they can, just enjoy it and not rip their shirts off and run down the street. So that's about it. We ran through the approximately 3 gallons. We got approximately 6 8-ounce jars of usable, drinkable product. I'm gonna have a little bit of tails, probably another 10 ounces of tails, and that's the deal. It's very, very simple. You make the mash, whether it's a brandy mash or a sour mash or a grain mash. It's all the same. You just distill it off. It's just a babysitting job at this point. So it's all about the hobby and the flavors, and it's one of those things that I think people should learn how to do. It's one of those lost arts. It's not hard to do. I don't know what the big deal is with why it's a big problem, especially down south with the Duke boys running moonshine or whatever they did. But I don't know. It's a fun hobby. You try different things, and so some of these, with the cream of the crop ones that I keep, sometimes I'll do I'll try a toasted oak. Chip in it, and chips of toasted oak in it, and it'll really change the flavors up and stuff. It's just a fun hobby. And again, this was the strawberry. It'd be the same if it was the peach or the apple. The blueberry apple that I made came out really good. Watch my other videos and you'll see all the recipes. I don't know everything. I don't know a lot. I just I know what I know, and I do what I do. But if anybody has suggestions and want to be helpful, and I definitely give different things a try. I know a lot of people have said to use the amylase, and a lot of people said not to. I didn't know, so I used it for the fruit, but apparently you don't need it for fruit. That's more of a grain type of a thing you'd need for grain, not necessarily the fruits. So things like that, I don't know. It's I don't know proofs. I don't know anything. All I know is this stuff will knock your socks off, and you have to take it easy when you're under the influence of it. So, anyways, I hope you liked it, and I will keep doing some videos. I did a chicken video the other day. People seem to like just kind of a hidden camera in the chicken coop. It was kind of fun to watch, and it's always hypnotic to watch the chickens just kind of sitting there while they don't remember you're sitting there. And then I did a video of my my Oldsmobile Cutlass the other day. So I'm gonna try to keep them coming out on a consistent, regular basis. I got a little behind due to my pneumonia. I'm actually losing my voice again now from all this talking, but we'll get there. And again, thanks for watching, and hit that subscribe button. I've just flipped 2,600 subscribers, so that's a big day. Apparently that's a big day for me. So just glad that people like watching the videos, and I will catch up with you guys later. Out of Work Bum out.